right, so I was doing some work on getting ready to invest some money into my retirement account recently, and I saw this notification pop up from my account on Robinhood. So I have just a little bit of money in my Robinhood account where kind of use it for some fun money to do some like more risky investments. And when I saw this, it really started making me question my location for my IRA. So right over here, this thing says claim 3% boost on retirement account transfers, and it's an unlimited match. And so you can see right over here, if you have the Robinhood Gold, so this is on the Robinhood platform. I know some people don't like it, whatever. I'm just looking at this as how much is this going to impact my retirement account, and is this going to be worth my time and effort? And so I was just like, this is super fascinating. So right over here, you can see you can transfer an IRA. You could also do a Roth IRA, maybe even transfer an old 401k from a company, and you can get up to 3%. Now there is a caveat. Well, there's a couple caveats, and I'll go over those. But you could see here, if you were transferring like myself, somewhere around the early six figures, like $100,000, you would get $3,000 added to your account. Now, in case you don't know this, in an IRA, there is a max amount of money that you could put in every single year. 2023 was $6,500. 2024 is $7,000 if you're under 50, and then an extra $1,000 if you're over. So there is a cap on how much you can actually put in this account, obviously with all the tax benefits that come with it, whether it's a Roth or a traditional. And so this really got me thinking, if I can have more money added into this account, because outside of maxing it out, there's no other way for me to put money in, could this be worth it? Now, some of the caveats are the fact that you do have to have the Robinhood Gold, which is a monthly membership. It's about $6.99 a month. The cost versus how much I'm going to get is definitely outweighed as far as value. The other thing is I do have to have gold for at least 1 year to be able to get this 3% transfer. And then I have to keep my IRA inside of Robinhood for about 5 years. Now, Robinhood does have the insurance as well. So as of right now, I would be more than covered as far as if anything happened to Robinhood, like the brokerage closed down or whatever. I would just move back either to another platform or somewhere else. No worries on that end. And then this promotion, as of right now, is going until April 30th. So there's some interesting thoughts on this process of like, is this going to be worth it? So I ran some numbers because it's what I like to do. Let me bring this up here and put it on this side of the screen. So I ran some numbers here, and you can see, so if I invested the total transfer, plus also I did forget to mention, Robinhood does also have another promotion where they contribute up to an extra 3% on your contribution limits or matches on your account. So if I put in the full 7,000, 3% of that will also get added on there for having Robinhood Gold. So there's just all these additional ways, again, to add money into the account. And it's great because that is not going to be taxed on me since it is just going straight into a retirement account. So that would actually equal out for what I have right now in my retirement to transfer over about $3,213. So it's about $3,000 for the initial transfer, another $210 for the contribution limit. So if I put in all 7,000, I would get an extra $210. So it comes out to about $3,213, give or take. So just doing this number right here, if I don't do any additional contributions, so just this $3,200, not added to what I already have in my retirement to compound together, at a rate of about 10%. My current rate right now on Vanguard, when I look at it, because that's where my retirement is about 12%. So this is actually kind of undercutting it a little bit here. The 30-year growth, which is about how much more time I have until I would probably start using it for retirement, would equal out to another $56,000 in my account, which is effectively, maybe a year or some change of my life to be able to utilize in retirement. So something that might take a couple hours to go through the process of transferring over would equal out to $56,000. And this is just a rough estimate. Again, this is not even compounding with the money that I already have in the account that will help amplify that number that much more. And the contribution match, this is only for the first year, not including every following year that if I keep it into Robinhood with that match, that is going to add that money in there as well. Which then begs the question, is it worth switching over? One, I know, again, some people have a dislike for Robinhood, and that's fine. That's your prerogative to not like it. The interesting part is, the amount of money now that I can have in that account that I would not have otherwise had, because I was in the process of essentially going in and putting in the contribution for 2024, and that's when I was kind of deciding on this. So I was holding off on my contribution until I can make that decision, because if I'm going to move it to Robinhood and then put in that $7,000 over the year, or even if I do it instantaneously, I might as well get that contribution bonus and that transfer bonus as well too. And if you want to check this out too, I'll have a link for you in the show notes down below to check out Robinhood if you do want to take a look at it and open up your account. That does help support out the channel as well. So if you want to do that, that's great. And then let me bring this back up just so you can see. So again, it would be 3% of whatever you're putting in, and there's no cap. So if you have, like it shows here, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, you get 3% of that transfer in there as well for your bonus, which is going to just go further with my retirement account, because again, I can only put in so much every single year. So begs the question, is this something you would consider, depending on how much you have, if it's worth the time and effort to go through? I'm looking at this and really considering that this might be worth it to go through this experience and see that this extra money that's going to be now added to my account, you know, is going to yield me much larger returns than I possibly could ever get, because at the max that I could put into my retirement every single year. Now, of course, if you want to follow along to see if I end up going through this process, make sure you hit subscribe on this channel, as I'll share that process as a whole, as well as, you know, seeing what I'm going to end up using that $3,000 extra to invest it. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a riskier investment with it, while the majority of my retirement account is actually kind of in just more steady S&P 500 style type of investments. So for that process, you know, it's going to be something that we'll see how it goes long term. But I have a good suspicion that I'm going to end up taking this leap here, just because of the sheer amount of money that is going to be added to my account as a whole. And then I also do have, of course, a taxable account where I do my regular investments with. I share that here on the channel. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and post that right here as a video for you to watch next. So if you want to see what I'm invested in my regular taxable account through M1 Finance as of this recording, go ahead and check out the video on screen.